All right, here we go.
Well, I'll tell him later. He's like, we're going outside.
All right, here, yeah, step that way.
He's like, we're going outside. I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to switch it over to OBS. We're live, by the way.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me switch this back.
That's great. You did not make that clear. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that.
So we have a little bit of background music, and because they're playing music over the PA system. This is Alex. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been on this side of the camera.
Yeah, that's right.
Usually we're on the other side of the camera. Usually they're all on that side of the camera.
Yeah. So tonight we're not allowed to stream the game because Watch Fox is doing it. They are, I assume, streaming it to YouTube just like they did last week.
They stream it to YouTube, they'll stream it on their website, and they'll stream it, of course, well, they won't stream it, they'll run it on Fox Cable, your local Fox station.
Yeah.
I had to make sure all of those because I was watching the Irmo Dutchfort game last year.
That's right. I'm pretty sure anyone who's watching our stream, it's going to be easy. It's just to switch over to the Watch Fox YouTube channel.
Yes.
You'll be able to find it without a problem. Eric is coming to talk to me. Sorry, state championship coach Eric Navarro.
He's ready.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Hey, Eric? You want to say hey to the stream? it's pointing at us.
That's about as high. That's about as close
Yeah.
as I'm getting right
State champion coach Eric Navarro is behind the camera right now.
Say my head's big enough.
Yeah, and
They actually won it on this field, right?
Well, I think if anyone saw you, they'd be disappointed that you don't have the pink mohawk.
Yeah, I need the hair color. I need the trim back.
Yeah, so we won on this field, so every time we come here.
So you say, wait, hold on. Here, come over.
Jeff is immediately passing his duties off.
You're going to be that. He's like, I'm tired of being on the mic. Oh gosh, this is actually kind of weird because I'm actually on the mic.
You're on the mic, you're in front of a camera?
Yeah, I know.
That's
so we
not
don't
normal.
have that. Usually I do the state championship games for the NFHS network. Oh, I about did the read for them just now. That's how ingrained it is for my head. But yeah, no, being here for the games, for football, helping out the scoreboard and stuff, just showing up here, it's great, it's fun. I was telling somebody in the press box just now that some of the songs for our playlist came on, and driving up kind of just had a little wave of nostalgia just then, because I'm like, I'm ready to go back already. But you know, it's been fun. It's been a good summer seeing the girls. We've been able to celebrate a couple times and have some good times, and we've been able to actually watch some of our seniors who graduated. We had one who's at Wofford right now with, we had Emma Valdez just graduate, who was, I mean, the accolades just were so long.
All-state player of the year.
All-state, all-region. I mean, just keep going down the list. She got something from almost every single conference and group that we were a part of or that looks at high school soccer. She was able to get an accolade. So, you know, it was great just to see them do so well, but also to see her recently. They were she's at Wofford with Delaney Minor, who graduated about 2 years ago. And their college program just got their first win of the season. So, you know, things are trending up for everybody. And it's just been really fun, really good. And kind of like I was telling him, calm down, people. Stop boosting my ego right now.
Do you reminisce every time you walk onto this field? You're like, I was here about 4 months ago?
Oh, most definitely. Well, shoot, when we came back here for the last game, it was a home game. You know, I looked over and I was like, okay, that's where my fullback got knocked into the goal, but my keeper made the save. That's the spot where my keeper got the last shot and fell on it, like we had been kind of working on to, you know, burn a little couple seconds off the clock. So I'm like, there's different little spaces that are gonna. I know when we get here in the spring, we're going. The girls are gonna be like, hey, I was right here when you did this, and I was right here when you did that. So, you know, that's gonna be fun stuff. But I'm very excited to see what the football team's gonna do this season. You know, they've been working hard. Coach Floyd and the gang's really been trying to grind and get things better so that we can, you know, push that program a little bit further, just like we do with all of our athletics. You know, AC Flora is a very successful athletics program across the board, and I'm excited to see what they can do this season.
I'm really excited. We have a lot of potential this year, and a lot of seniors, a lot of new faces on this team that really kind of made their names known last week, and I'm really excited to see how we move from last week. That was a little sloppier game to this week.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, with all those new faces, all the people coming aboard, being able to learn the culture of Flora Falcon football and just being able to understand what their roles are and how to actually play properly, properly within our system. And really, you know, sometimes the emotion maybe gets to you a little bit and you're excited to be playing and you really being able to actually hit like you're supposed to gets to you. But as the season progresses, I expect big things just because because even around the campus, there's a different energy about things this year. So
I mean, I always say in college football terms, it's the same thing on high school. Don't put any stock into week one, because week one is the time you try to figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work. How do you play? How do I play? How do we play together? And of course, you just try to build that momentum as we really get to the back half of the year. Of course, you want to win this game, obviously against Chapin, but
of course,
you really want to start gelling together and really when we start getting the region play. That's when you want to hit your stride.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I mean, that's almost.
Yep.
We all do that. For the girls soccer team, we did the same thing. We had some girls that were frustrated early in the season, just like, what are we doing? How are we figuring this out? And I had to keep reminding them, that first couple weeks, first couple games, let's just see how things are going. This is where we actually figure out what works versus what doesn't work. That way, when we hit region play, we hit some of those stronger competition like a Clover for us or a Chapin. We can learn some lessons, really refine our tools. That way, when the big time does come and it's playoffs, you know what your game plan is.
I mean, no, you've got to know what your game plan is. And, of course, we had a really good test last week, Westwood, a team that was really tough, hung around, never quit, which is good, to see that early. You're like, all right, sometimes we laid back a little bit. It felt like toward the end, we kind of understand they're going to be focused this week. I was talking to a couple coaches, players. I think they're very much more really locked in. Last week, again, as you said, you see it early in the season, you're getting back, getting ready to play football again, but now it's like, okay, it's go time. Like, we got the pads on. It's week one officially. We got our rivals on the other side. Let's go knock someone's head off.
Oh, yeah, and that's one big way to open up the season. Truthfully, good test against Chapin. Chapin's also improving as well. So, just to see how can we do against a level of competition like that. If we can really do what we're supposed to do, put some points on the board and really refine what we were wanting to do early on, that can pay dividends as the season progresses. And again, there's going to be mistakes. It's early in the season, but if you can start to fine-tune some things and really make it sharp for yourself, that could come to play big later on as things progress.
I was talking to Floyd before the game, and we were both agreeing, when we hit our rhythm, it was like we were clockwork. I mean, we moved the ball, we really imposed our will, but then, of course, when those penalties come in and when you make those, minor mistakes, all of a sudden you kind of get a little more gun-shy, and then it's like, okay, how do we go from here to go to there?
Yeah, and that's that mental focus. With it being so early, you got to think, with the kids being in class, mentally kind of getting drained from that, but then also just getting used to the same routine each week and each day, then moving into the football games, and depending on the difficulty of the opponents, just how much have they mentally been able to get some of that mental stamina and resiliency there. And, early in the season, like we said, there's going to be mistakes. And when you get on a roll, it goes great, and sometimes just that bounce back takes a little bit longer early in the year, but as you get into Game 5, Game 6, Game 7, we saw last year against some tough opponents, it would be just a boxing match, just back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
And when that mental resiliency and endurance was there, you could see us bounce back really quick. After one minor error, we're right back at it. So, just again, as the season goes, you'll see better and better things.
And that's what I think Coach Cal Norton and Coach Floyd both told me. They were like, we just want to bounce back. You want to move on to this week, stay focused, clean up those mistakes, and, again, as you said, come together, figure out what you got to do, and then move forward and really get that mental focus locked in.
Oh, yeah. And then again, once that happens, that's when kind of the players that you can really depend on, those who still maybe need a little support. And from that point, the game plan's set, where things look like, and that's when the weather starts to change. It gets a little cooler,
nicer,
and playoff football's right around the corner. And then really the only thing at that point can you do is just stay away from the injury bug, because that always nips somebody, whether it's us or the opponent. It's always somebody's going to get a little something. So can you just refine all those skills, get that mental resiliency, and just go healthy into the late parts of the season, into the playoffs? And you never know what could happen as soon as you get into the dance.
Hey, that's all you got to do. And I think injury bug hit us about 2 years ago. Last year, we had some injuries, cut through a couple of ones. Of course, Monty Lafitte was one of the big ones who was out all season.
Yep.
He had a great first game last week. And then, you talk about playoff football. This team, we have such a tough region. For those who do not know, we have South Point coming here in 3 weeks. Camden finishes off our regular season. Those are two heavyweight fights that we're going to have to be in the regular season to try to get us ready for that playoff run.
Yeah, and when you have that in your region, it does set you up to kind of see where you're at. It gives you that measuring stick to see, all right, where are we at skill-wise, where are we at endurance-wise, just what level of football can we play. But then you get, after another week or two, you get a strong Camden team that's always sitting right there looking to make a deep playoff run. So really it sets you up to kind of give you that measuring stick mid-season, give you the measuring at the end of the season when you're getting into the playoffs. And while it may be tough and may be difficult, if you can learn a couple things, even if you on the scoreboard do not come out as the winner, but you could take a couple lessons from it, as we did as well during the season. We lost to Chapin both times, and both of those games taught us big lessons as a 1-0 loss. you could come and use those lessons in the playoffs and really make a big difference come impact time in the playoff run.
Yeah, no, you got to learn from your mistakes early and then build those. Of course, for those who don't know, South Point and Camden are both top 10 in 4A, so it's going to be two very big battles here. Of course, we'll stream those both. Of course, we can't hear. But, you've been around AC Flora for forever. What are you looking for tonight?
Looking for a hype student section. Looking for.
They're getting there.
They're getting there. They're slowly piling in. But honestly, just looking to see what we can build upon from last week. Again, had some mental errors, had some physical play errors where you kind of got a couple things not go our way. But can we just refine those a little bit? Can we fix our mental mistakes and really just put a nice, mostly complete game together? Because then that tells you, hey, we're making steps towards where we want to progress to. And again, I expect to see a couple flags be thrown, a couple missed snaps or just missed run plays. I expect that this early in the season. But if we can take some of those from last week and not have them, and we can just see a little bit more sharpness and efficiency in the way we're doing things, all right, that tells us we're making progress. If you still see the same issues, okay, now, all right, what do we need to do to change this? But again, I expect to see some good things this week. The kids all week have been really focused, talking about different plays. I have a few students in a couple of my classes. When we had a little bit of downtime and working on a few things, you could see them, they were discussing different plays and such. So that's not something I've seen often in class, once we're done, have some downtime and such. But to be able to hear them talking about it tells me they're mentally already progressing the way they need to. So it's going to be fun to see how the things go tonight.
And I think a lot of it has to do with our senior leadership on this team. I mean, a lot of those guys like Roper, Charlie, Monty, they've been together forever. And now, they came up as sophomores. Of course, Roper, of course, came onto the scene sophomore year, came our starting quarterback. Charlie's really started making his name himself, slot receiver. Kendall, I mean, you got all of these seniors. I'm probably forgetting about 10 of them. So. But then, they all got that leadership. They've all come up, and now they're so close. You said, they just talk about it more, and they try to learn what they, could have done better last week.
Yeah, this group of guys as juniors last year, you could tell just the way the season went. There was some highlight moments, but it didn't go the way they wanted it to, and it didn't progress and end the way they wanted it to, of course. But they took those lessons from last year and pushed them and implemented them for this year. And I really do think that our football program can make bigger strides just because that experience they had as juniors. And now as seniors, those are the ones the kids are looking up to. So can they make that impact and make that progression as the season progresses?
And I think going back to that senior class, especially for this game in particular, but of course a couple other games, they've lost to Chapin the last 2 years. Those seniors got a chip on their shoulder. They want to beat Chapin as starters. Of course, we beat Chapin 3 years ago in our route to the lower state championship at that time. But now it's like, it feels like last couple games, it's kind of gone Chapin's way. They kind of controlled the game. I think they got a chip on their shoulder and they really want to lock in and take down the Eagles.
Oh yeah, no. When you've had that little taste, but you haven't tasted it in a while, you want to get back there and you want to be able to complete just kind of that turnaround and be able to show yourselves that all the things we've been working on for these past couple years have paid dividends. And if we can get a win over Chapin tonight, probably be the best way to end the week.
That's the exact goal. Of course, I want to just note how Jeff is so swiftly passed his duty off tonight.
I know. He very quickly was like, hey, no, I'm going to give you the headset.
He's like, please, Eric, just take this and I'll go stand over here and not worry about it.
Well, like I said, it's one of those, I'm almost outside of the camera. I'm used to putting on the headset now, especially for state championship games because of the NFHS network. So it's one of those where I'm like, I don't really know how to act in front of this. So
I know it's not. I'm usually, I was a broadcast journalism major. I was in front of a camera a lot. Now I'm like behind the camera with my headset. So I'm like, it's a little easier, but this is a little different. I'm like, I got to look at you, got to look at them, and got to have some fun.
That's why I'm like, all right, do I look here? All right, now I look back here.
Look back here. Hi, how you doing?
You're not supposed to turn back away from the camera. Okay.
Don't worry, I've done that multiple times.
Well, it was good talking to you, man.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one. Oh, man. Yeah, Jeff, we got minimal time before we got to start.
We got the national anthem first we got to wait for.
Thanks for trying to help her out. I appreciate it.
right.
All right, I think we have the alma mater coming up. This is the Falcon Regiment band. Hopefully you can hear them in the background.
Of course, Jim Stevens on PA.
Yeah, Jim Stevens up here.
Conducted by Drum Major of the Falcon Regiment, Mr. Trenton Ashpurse.
Are we allowed to talk through the alma mater?
I was going to talk to the national anthem, so.
Okay. All right, so yeah, we had to wait for the national anthem, but yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Impromptu, Eric Navarro.
You just absolutely so beautifully said, "Here you go, Eric,"
Yeah, no,
and left.
People would rather hear from a
He's
state
so
champion
intelligent.
coach.
Of course, he's so intelligent, and even about football. Of course, he coaches. He's a different kind of football, but
Yeah.
his mindset, the mentality that he has to, with those girls, with what they went through this past season. So you could translate a lot of that to pretty much any sport, in his football especially. It's such a mental game as well.
Yeah. So any points that you want to cover that you didn't get through with Eric?
About to say we covered a lot of what I wanted to cover through. I
good.
expect a cleaner game is basically what I've learned. It should be. It sounds like everyone's really focused going into there. So be on the lookout for a very good group of receivers as well today. Roper's going to be back to being Roper. For Chapin, just quickly touching on them, because I know we haven't touched on a lot on them because we talked about how hopefully we're going to really bounce back, but it's going to be a very different look Chapin tonight.
Just a couple points on Chapin?
Yeah, no, don't worry. I got like one, and you're almost done.
Okay, good.
But no, they're a very new look Chapin team. They lost their their leading receiver and their leading running back. We're going to have to really kind of attack them, make us. We talked about this, Jeff, last week. I feel like last couple of years, Chapin's controlled the game. We need to go control the game this time. Let's start strong, get to halftime, and then continue from there, which we've done in previous seasons. But I think this is a really big test. If we can get momentum going in from this game towards Southside Christian and Lawrence, bring them to South Point, we could give them a challenge. We can score with the best of them, and I'm hoping we can do that this week. So
awesome. All right. So anyone who wants to watch the game, go to the Watch Fox YouTube channel. One last thing, Mom, I love you. I'll miss you.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you hopefully next week. We are not sure yet, but hopefully at Southside next week. All right. Jeff's going to end the stream, and I'm just going to sit here and look like some sort of a pretty face before we have to get ready to watch some football. All right. Thank you, guys. Perfect.